Hey everyone, it's Yvonne Emile Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And wow, it's been a hot minute since I've been here. Well, it feels that way anyways. Maybe it hasn't been, but I know I missed the last full moon at the very beginning of Capricorn. We have two Capricorn moons back to back, but I know I missed that one because that one kicked my behind. Like that new moon, full moon was in my sign, and I have 6 markers in Capricorn. And so that I remember I slept all day. I could not get out of bed to record the video. I was so tired. And we had some solar storms just kind of blasting us. And so I remember I was just blasted. I was just so tired. Wasn't even going to get out of bed to try to do anything. Yeah. What else happened? So let's see. Yeah, you know what? I don't like summer. I don't like the heat. I have tried to make peace with the god Apollo, the god of the sun, and I've tried to really just enjoy the heat, and it's just like no, I can't. Give me Colorado, give me Massachusetts in the cold winter, give me some cold mountains, snow. Yeah, I can't. I just can't. I just can't. And so, some people have that seasonal affective disorder. So in the winter months, right, when it gets dark early, they really don't feel good. They might start to feel depressed, blue. They just kind of, linger around. That's me during the summer. That's me. Yes. Please. I was so happy. I was so happy when we hit the summer solstice because I said to myself, Yvonne, the days are going to start getting shorter from this point on. So I was happy. Yes, I'm that person. I really do enjoy the shorter, darker days. My dark heart enjoys the darker days. So I haven't been doing much, honestly. I mean, if I do anything, it's like I either do it from 5 a.m. to like 11:30, 12. And then, of course, I have to drive to my office. But other than that, nope. Nope, nope, nope. I'm staying home, reading my books, taking really long naps. Like the summer just drains me. So I'm like taking like 2.5 hour naps, which is not like me, right? Except last summer and the summer before that. But anyhow, yeah, so good riddance. Everybody who enjoys the summer, please, I will live vicariously through you, but you will not find me outside. Especially with the rosacea, right? Because as soon as the cheeks flare up, I don't know, those of you that have rosacea, it's like, they flare up and then everybody's like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, no, my cheeks are on fire. I can't. Give me some ice packs, please. Anyways, okay. So what else have I been up to? I've stayed off social media. I think it's gonna be like a month. I've stayed off social media. Yeah, no Facebook, no Instagram. Well, I never had Twitter or X or whatever you call it. And I've never had TikTok, right? So I have been on YouTube though, but I've been on YouTube only to watch like the free documentaries they have. I've been watching a lot of like near-death experience stuff. The last one I've watched is like the 2004 tsunami, right? The Christmas or the 26 tsunami. Yeah, it's kind of gloomy. Yeah, so I haven't been, on social media. And I have to tell you, it's been fantastic. It's been like a total reset for me. Yeah, I say everybody tries it. Step away from social media. You will be surprised, how that can affect your mental health. So, let's see what else. What else have I been? Yeah, that's about it. I really have just been just reading a lot. Okay. Trying to get through my TBR list, right? Which never seems to end because I'm always shopping for more books, which I don't. I got a new Kindle. So I was excited about that. Yeah, that's life. That's it. What else? Yeah, my mouse died. My mouse died. I know that was bad. That was bad. Okay, okay, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about why I'm here. And that is this beautiful Cancer new moon that is happening on the 5th at 5:57 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do have a lot of astrology going on. The second half of June starts to get a little bit more crunchy and it moves into August, but for the most part, I really like this new moon. So I think that we'll be able to do some, good work with it. But yeah, so let's take a look at the chart as always. And I may have to revert back to the chart a few times because there is a lot going on. So, all right, here we go. Here we have this beautiful new moon at 14:23, 14 degrees, 23 minutes in Cancer. Cancer is a water energy. It's a cardinal energy. It's about protection and nurturing and friendship and family and yeah, all this really, 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 really good stuff. Venus is in Cancer, and it will be, you know, it's a wide opposition to Pluto, but it's an out of sign opposition because Pluto is in Aquarius. So technically an inside opposition would be like Mercury in Leo. Okay, so we do have that, and that was a bummer the other day. I'll share that with you. What else do we have? Yes, we have a couple of things. So Neptune is stationed. It's literally stopped in the skies. It's not moving at 29 degrees, 56 minutes. It's still in Pisces, the planet of illusion, delusion, fogginess, spirituality, creativity. Yeah, it's still lingering at the end of a sign. Of the sign, and it will not ingress into Aries until I think it's like April of 2025. So we still have some of that going on. And then Saturn retrograde turned retrograde a few days ago, and that's also in Pisces. And so we do have some really just kind of stagnant energy right now because with these two planets, and it's more like collective. And then here's the big one for July. Yes, because we're in July. So Uranus is in Taurus. It has been for about 5.5 years. It won't leave Taurus until May, I think of April, May of 2025. But when this Uranus, I think the degrees is 2613, 2619. I'll double check. Mars is going to start to come together, right? Conjunct Uranus. So this is a big one. This is the one that we are watching very, very carefully right here because Mars is the planet of, you know, fire and war and, you know, agitation and separation and, you know, it likes to move very quickly. And so Uranus is the planet of sudden change, erratic change, instability. So we have a lot going on. All right, so let's talk about this. Where do we start? Let's start with, well, let me just say, I'm going to start with that Pluto, that Mercury, Pluto opposition, right? So this happened on Monday. So this was like last weekend, which would have been the, what is it? The 30th, 29th, 30th, and the 1st, and the 2nd, and the 3rd, and the 4th. Okay, so all of those days we had Mercury was initially at an out of sign conjunction, but it was still, excuse me, opposition, but it was still close enough by degree that Mercury and Pluto were, the Pluto retrograde were pulling on each other. Okay. Oh my God. That was the worst for me, honestly. So there's a lot of stuff hitting my chart. This is the last pass of this Pluto retrograde. But anyhow, I'm not even going to go into my chart. But wow. Last weekend, all of a sudden I woke up with massive anxiety, like massive anxiety, couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And then just kind of got in my head a lot, like just really got into my head. And I was like, what is going on? I had this like emotional kind of meltdown at dinner with my daughter, and then she got sick that dinner. And so we were like a hot mess that day. It was just bad. So I don't know how you all were feeling like June 29th, 30th, July from the 1st to the 3rd, 4th, 5th. But well, 4th is, well, it's still going on because it's still in opposition. But anyhow, it was stronger at the beginning of the week. So that was a lot of mental, like darkness going, because that's Mercury's about the mind. Pluto's about going down into the underworld. So, oh my gosh, yeah, it was bad. Okay, so let's talk about which other one? Yes, let's talk about Neptune, okay, because this is really important. So Neptune, I'm going to pull the chart up again because I want to make sure that we are all looking at the same thing. So Neptune, as I mentioned, is going to be at this 29 degrees, 56 minutes in Pisces. Now, Neptune, you know, this moon, yeah, it connects to Venus, but it doesn't really have a big influence directly to this new moon. Okay, sorta, kinda does, but so Neptune, as I mentioned, is at the very last degrees. It's called the anaretic degree. So at 29 degrees, it's the last degree of a sign. And it's like if any planet at 29 degrees, it kind of, what it wants you to do is like kind of clear things up, right? Like, all right, we're moving into a new sign here pretty soon, and that planet is like, look, you got to clean things up. Like you have to, whatever it is that you've been working on, you have to make sure that you're done with it, because we're not taking that baggage into this new sign. We have to clean it up right here, right now. So when it retrogrades, when Neptune retrogrades at that, it's like 4 minutes before it enters, Aries, and then it goes back, right? So it's like 4 minutes before it enters Aries, and it's like, wait, no. We need to clean some stuff up here, because Neptune is all about spirituality. It's about the essence of the soul, from a spiritual, perspective. Okay. It's about taking account of everything that you have not been able to truly grasp. Okay. And it is difficult to grasp when Neptune is transiting, okay, or activating certain parts of your chart, which it is mine. So there may be a lot of you whose Neptunes are being really, really activated, especially those in the mutable signs, which would be Pisces, Leo, what's the other one? Gemini, and Sagittarius. Woof. Could not remember there for a minute. Okay. Those mutable signs, especially if you have that energy at the last degrees, and even the beginning degree of the next sign. Okay. But you're probably feeling like you're lacking direction. If Neptune is, connecting to a really strong place in your chart, right? Like any other planet in the chart, or your ascendant or your midheaven, you are probably going to feel like you're not being able to grasp reality. Now, this is also emphasized, okay, because let me show you the chart again. Neptune, here we go. So Neptune and Saturn are within 10 degrees of each other, but I have always mentioned that as soon as a planet moves into or ingresses into a sign, even though they may not be close by degree, okay, this is a 10-degree orb, they still start to feel each other's influences. So for the last year or so, a little bit over a year, we have been feeling, the connection between Saturn, which is everything that's concrete, fundamental, hard, reality, and Neptune, everything that is dissolving, right? Everything that we can't grasp. It's like fog. All of the, again, illusion, delusion, idealism, right? So we've been having these two energies in Pisces, and Pisces is a highly spiritual energy. It's water. It wants to explore the ethers. Okay. So Saturn in Pisces is like holding, that Piscean energy down, saying, nope. You are it's like a concrete barrier, just, weighing down on that Pisces energy. And the Neptune is like, girl, come on, let's go. We've got places to visit astrally, let's go astral traveling. Okay. Let's go into the ethers. So there's been this tug of war between what's real and what's not real. And so when we get into this placement, it can be difficult collectively to figure out what's real and what's not real. And if you just look at social media and the news, you're going to, and that's one of the reasons why I got off, because I was like, man, I can't even tell, right? Like this is the perfect scenario for AI, right? Okay, we have all of this new AI technology coming up, which is great, amazing. But then you have these videos and you're like, is this real? Like, is it, right? Okay, so that's the energy that we are working with. We're not going to be done with that energy until next year. Okay, like I said, Neptune does not leave Pisces until April of next year. So this is a time where we're having to tread through life, right? Reality versus non-reality. Yes. I hope y'all understood what that meant, because it all happened in my head and I just conveyed it. Okay. Really, we should work on telepathy. I really think we should all work on telepathy. It would be so much easier, because people like me and, see what I mean? Anyways, so that's that. Okay. All right. So we have this energy going on. Now let's talk about this Mars Uranus. Okay. Because this really does have a significant influence on the rest of July. So again, here is Uranus, okay, and here is Mars, and these are in Taurus. Now, let's talk about that, okay? So from the 10th of July until about the 21st of July, I'm going to say that we should be expecting this, instability of sorts, okay? I always look at the degree. As I said, when two planets get into the same sign, we start to feel the influence of those planets right away. But as they get closer together, that energy starts to become more intense, right? Okay, so now we have Mars coming in within 3 degrees. I always do like 3 degrees, okay, depending, 3 degrees. Okay, as soon as it starts to come within 3 degrees of Uranus, we're really going to start to feel that. I feel that's going to be around the 10th of July, and then I give it like a 3 degree after the exact aspect. So I'm going to take that out to like the 21st. I feel like a meteorologist. This is what meteorologists feel like, right? Like they're like, yeah, so 5 days from now, we're going to have, anyhow. Okay, heat. That's all we're having here. Back to Mars and Uranus. So Mars is a fire, okay? But in Taurus, it's not very fiery necessarily, but what it does is that it shakes up the earth of Taurus. Taurus is solid, right? It likes solidity. It likes, it's the workhorse of the zodiac, right? So whatever it focuses on, it really starts to just hone in and continue working on that. But Mars can come in, and although it's very focused in Taurus, it doesn't move as quickly as it wants to move. Therefore, it can become frustrated. Okay. It can become impatient. It can become impulsive. All of these, tendencies are Mars tendencies. But now you bring in, the essence of Uranus, and Uranus is like sudden change, right? It's electricity. It's instability, right? It's like, okay, we're doing fine, and we're not doing fine. It's like, whoa, what happened? It represents anxiety too, right? It's like their nervous system is activated. So it's kind of like an anxiety, right? Like it's all of a sudden it just hits your nervous system and your nervous system is activated. So, and by the way, if you all are ever considering doing any sort of somatic therapy, right, somatic experiencing, which is really working with your nervous system, I highly suggest you work with Julie. I will be happy to connect you. I'm just putting it out there. She's going to kill me for this. She's going to kill me for this, but that's okay. This is a get even kind of game that we're playing. So there we go. Okay, so back. What does this mean for Mars and Uranus? Well, we can expect a lot of the unexpected, okay? And so collectively, this feels like conflict, okay? So conflict, unexpected, because Taurus deals with money, resources, so maybe sudden shakeups in money and resources. You might feel it in your body as well, okay? But for me, this feels like it's conflict energy. It's potentially unexpected, conflictive energy. There we go. Okay. So here's the interesting piece. And this is not a political statement at all. Okay. But so the Republican National Convention is happening on, I think, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. This is smack in the middle of when this Mars-Uranus conjunction is going to happen. So I'm kind of guessing that the Republican National Convention Party is not working with an astrologer because this is horrible. This is the worst time. Like, this is worse. This is like chaos waiting to happen. Honestly, that's what it represents. But okay, moving on. Now let's talk about this beautiful, beautiful moon that we are working with. And this is Cancer. Cancer is water energy. I really like Cancer energy. So let's just kind of go into some of the, delineations of or symptoms or characteristics. There we go. That's probably better of Cancer. Okay. It is a protective sign, right? Just think about a crab. It's represented by the crab, right? The crab has this really hard outer shell, but I mean, if you opened it up, they would be nice and squishy and soft inside, which you don't want to do that. Leave the crab alone. But it moves sideways, right? Like if you've ever seen a crab walk, it does not walk in a straight line. It walks sideways, right? So there's this essence of switching gears, but it's not like Gemini, where Gemini switches mind, right? And talk very quickly. No, this is more like I have a better position from over here. I don't feel safe over here, so I'm going to move over here. You're not going to come into my space. So I'm going to, so that's that Cancer energy. Okay. It is a cardinal sign. So it's a very initiatory sign. It is water, right? As I mentioned. So there's this emotional connection to Cancer. And I think the misconception that floats around Cancer is that Cancer energy tends to be, emotional or over emotional. Now, that can be true. However, I know a lot of Cancer energy that is not emotional. Like they may be experiencing emotions inside, but externally, what they are presenting is not that. And that is because of the shell that Cancer has, right? So the Cancer has this shell where it's like, you're not going to see my insides. I am devastated on the inside, but you're never going to see me. That's my daughter. She's got other placements in her chart that contribute to that. But so there's this essence of having these emotions happen on the inside and maybe not expressing them or not being able to contain them. Okay, so again, Cancer energy, but it does represent emotion. It's ruled by the moon. Okay, so the moon is going to be at home in Cancer. The moon represents feelings, emotions, right? The higher mind, connection. It represents the feminine as well. So this is a very femininely oriented new moon. Okay, all right. So new moons, what do they represent? Well, it's the beginning of the lunar cycle, right? Hold on, I need to. Yeah, there we go. Whew. All right. So, where was I? The new moon, right? It's the beginning of the lunar cycle. And so this is a wonderful time for you to set the intentions for, what you want to work on or experience in this lunar cycle. Now, let's look at some of the qualities of this new moon. First and foremost, family is going to be important, friends and family. So if you have Cancer people in your life, you're going to know that they're very protective about their friends and their family. They can also be very moody. Okay. As we mentioned, they can be emotional, but there's this really important need to nurture and protect. And nurturing can look very motherly, okay, for Cancer people, or it can look not motherly, but just like you're definitely trying to be caregiving in whatever capacity, right? So my daughter, Alex Sophia, she's 21. She's not motherly. Like if you use the word motherly and Alex Sophia in the same sentence, like she would start laughing and everybody that knows her would start laughing because she's not that. But she is very caregiving towards her friends. Like she really is very protective. She does take on more of a strategically mother role. It's not like an affection. Oh, my poor baby. No, she would never do that. But she's like, hey, do you have your driver's license? Hey, do you have your tennis shoes? Hey, do you have your, so she's kind of that. So you may, again, this is the kind of energy that we will be dealing with, more of a nurturing, motherly, family-oriented kind of energy. So it is trining Saturn retrograde and in Pisces. And I would never say I like Saturn, my planet, of course, but retrograde, okay, but it's trining this new moon. So I feel like I'm okay with the Saturn retrograde in Pisces because I feel like it's going to settle some of that maybe overly emotional, okay, energy that Cancer can experience, and it can bring some really good sense of grounding and foundation framework, okay, to this new moon, whereas that Neptune energy is making things really kind of foggy and not clear. I feel like Saturn can bring some clarity to this new moon. Venus is hanging out close to this new moon, and Venus in Cancer is very motherly. It does do pretty well in Cancer. Venus is the goddess of love, connection, beauty, aesthetics, finances as well. But because it's starting to oppose an out of sign opposition to Pluto retrograde, there may be some, sense of being a little spiteful because that's what Cancer energy can be. Cancer also can have a difficult time letting go of things. It represents the past. It's ruled by the moon. The moon represents the past. So you might find that stuff from the past starts to come up, maybe a love interest, okay? Or maybe, you realize that, oh, I really want to redecorate my home, and this is a great time to be able to do it. And you're going to become obsessed because that's Pluto, with trying to figure out how to, redecorate. Okay. You may become obsessed with like a past relationship. All right. Or anything related to relational issues as well. But for this new moon, excuse me, I would really focus on friends, family, and home. Right. And so initiating anything in that realm, I think would be important. Water energy right now is really nice to work with, especially if you are out in the heat. I am not, but yeah, water is really good. So I have this little fountain. Okay, it dribbles a little bit of water. Okay, it's a Buddha. It's a Buddha. My daughter gave it to me. It's a Buddha, and it's dribbling some water, like a little fountain. So working with any water related energy is going to be really great. Shells are going to be really great. Anything that comes from the beach, you can absolutely work with shells, starfish, all of that energy that represents Cancer. Cancer is that waxing and waning of the ocean. Okay, so anything of that nature you can work with. And I would just really sit and set your intentions for this month, right? And if you want to do a little meditation with the water energy, the fountain energy, or if you're going to sit with your altar and, light your candle, set a bowl of water, yeah, and just be, grateful, appreciative of this water energy. And I think it's so important because the Cancer time, right? The sun does really well in Cancer and Leo because it is those summer months, right? So we want to maybe help nurture the depletion of our energy, our solar energy, or our soul energy, okay, with some water. So let's try to do that. Okay. You can also make new moon water. It just doesn't just come from full moon. Okay. I'm just saying. So yeah, that's about it. I think I covered everything. I hope I did. But anyhow, if you want to learn more about your astrology and how that works for you specifically, let's do a consultation. You can find more information on silvermooncounseling.org. That is silvermooncounseling.org. And that is it, everyone. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm probably gonna go and take a nap. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk soon. Take care. Blessed be.